This year's Tour de France was a bomb. It just rocked, and the most fascinating and captivating thing was a fight between Tadej Pogacar and Jonas Vingegaard. It caught the attention of the whole event. To gain a vivid idea of what happened and enjoy the moment once, here we have created the whole scenario once again, so if you watched it, you can re-enjoy the moment again, and if you haven't watched it, then you get the experience of live performance. Hello people, welcome back to Cycling Right Now. So today we're here once again with you all to discuss a brand new event that locked several eyes. Here we're going to be looking at the match between Tadej Pogacar and Jonas Vingegaard at Tour de France. So don't waste time and watch the full video now. Before that, subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet watched more amazing videos like this. Let's begin. From the Grand Départ in Copenhagen to the climax in Paris, an enamored country has been clinging to Jonas Vingegaard's coattails the whole while. The Champs-Élysées had a resolutely Danish atmosphere on Sunday, with a sprinkling of impulsive Slovenian and a trace of deadpan Welsh for good measure. Vingegaard cruised into Paris, carried by his almost perfect Jumbo-Visma squad to win the Tour de France on his second try. He defeated reigning champion Tadej Pogacar and the peloton's Mr. Consistency Geraint Thomas, who achieved his third podium finish in 4 years. Pogacar, a Slovenian prodigy who was heading the high-spending UAE Emirates club, was the favourite to win many yellow jerseys when we checked in on him 12 months ago. Now though, the circumstances have shifted and the unflappable Dane and his high-spending staff seem to be unstoppable. Vingegaard and his teammates spread out on the cobblestones and linked arms to celebrate their success as the Belgian Jasper Philipsen raced to his second stage win in the frenzied closing dash to the line. Vingegaard and his teammates also fanned out on the cobblestones. It has been an outstanding performance for them, as seen by the fact that they now possess the yellow and green jerseys, in addition to 6 stage wins, some eye-watering climbing speeds and collective domination. In addition, it has been demonstrated that they have collective supremacy. Friends, apart from the title, would you want to hear something funny? So here are some facts. Number 1, the longest tandem bike was more than 20 meters long and had room for 35 people. 2, one car takes up the same amount of space as about 15 bicycles. Number 3, a bicycle costs 20 times less to keep up than a car. Number 4, if there were 3 times as many cyclists as there are now, the number of accidents between cars and cyclists would drop by half. Number 5, about 100 million bikes are made around the world each year. Now back to our video. Inevitably, during his customary winners' news conference, the newly crowned champion was questioned about whether or not could be trusted to maintain such a total command of the peloton in light of the circumstances surrounding the sport. Vingegaard said that there was not a single speck of dirt on any of them, even themselves. That is something that I'm able to say to each and every one of you. Nobody here is engaging in any activity that would be considered unlawful. The amount of preparation that we put in is perhaps the main reason for our success. We're taking high-altitude camps to the next level. We do all we can with the resources we have, including the meals and the training. The team does very well in this respect. Because of this, it is imperative that you have faith. Wout van Aert, his teammate and the winner of the last time trial in Rocamadour, was not as welcoming to the news. He responded to the question by stating that it was a crap question. Because we're competing at this level, we are obligated to protect ourselves. I don't understand it. Cycling has undergone a transition. It's very annoying that we have to keep responding to the same thing over and over again. Every day of the year, not only during the Tour de France but also in our own homes, we have to demonstrate that we can successfully pass several inspections. If you just take a look at our staff and how we've grown over the course of these years, you'll see that it hasn't materialized out of thin air. The main victim of their collective strength was the defending champion Pogačar, who was dominant and explosive himself in 2020 and 2021. However, in this year's Tour de France, Pogačar seemed at times like a blunt instrument when compared to Vingegaard's performance in the Tour's summit finishes. The Slovenian rider who was leading the UAE Emirates team and who had started winning significant races as early as February, and who, after winning 2 stages and his home national tour in June, was destined to be the rider to beat, displayed glimpses of immaturity that ultimately came back to harm him. The decisive moment occurred on the 11th stage, which was a high-altitude sweep of some of the major alpine climbs. At this stage, an isolated Pogačar misread his tactics, posed for the TV cameras, but then paid for it seconds later when he couldn't react to Vingegaard's surge. After that, he was forced to fight from a position of perpetual disadvantage. From that point on, Vingegaard was in command and was able to maintain his composure despite suffering the loss of 2 teammates, Primož Roglic and Steven Kruijswijk, as well as accepting Van Aert's roaming position. He did not show any symptoms of being rattled by these developments. Pogačar suffered the loss of vital assistants like George Bennett and Rafał Majka, although it is doubtful any of those competent climbers would have influenced the outcome of the Mile of Jaune. Thomas, in what many people consider to be the best performance of his career, was able to withstand all of the noise and commotion that was going on between the 2 major contenders in order to churn out a classic performance that was full of character and perseverance. In terms of winning the race, he was never in contention. Nonetheless, his experience along with his capacity to keep his head high while those around him were occasionally losing theirs rewarded him with 3rd place, despite the fact that he was more than 7 times behind the victor. There was no telling for Thomas whether or not this would ride his last Tour de France. He said, "I don't know," whenever he was questioned about it. "I have a contract that will keep me here until the end of next year. It's possible that I'll quit, but there's always a chance that I'll keep going. Still having a great time with the competition, and I'm still having a great time with this event, which is the most important race in the world. Never say never. We'll see." In addition to this, he reaffirmed the fact that he had always had faith in himself. For a variety of different reasons, the end of the year before was a really challenging period for me psychologically. After I had gotten back into it, it had returned to its typical steady state. I had faith that if I continued to put in the effort, I would eventually find myself among the contenders. I've never attempted to assign a numerical value to it. I have never wavered in my conviction that I could get there or go quite close to there. Concerning the team, this is a question that should really be directed at them. Simply said, I'm thrilled to be a part of it. Concerning the Tour bicycle race itself, its place in today's culture of France is a contentious one. While the fact that it is becoming more globalized, it seemed to be terribly out of touch at various points over the month of July, despite being praised by President Macron for his ongoing relevance to France's sense of heritage. The discontent between the Green Machine and the corporate juggernaut was laid bare when senior race officials brutally manhandled teenage climate protesters after they blocked the path of Stage 10 within sight of the disappearing glaciers of Haute Savoie. This event took place within sight of the glaciers of Haute Savoie. It is beyond a shadow of doubt that in order for the Tour to keep up with its ever-increasing appeal among audiences who are both younger and more varied throughout the globe, they will need to put in more effort. So, here we've come to the end of this video. Let us know in the comment box what you think about it. Who has a stronger side? Also comment down below who is your favorite cyclist. You can also pin down any queries or suggestions if there are any in your mind. If you liked our work, then please like it and share it with your friends.